Hey everybody, my name is Josh with HXC Garage. Today we are going to be doing a 3-hole oil change on my Fat Bob 114. Simply got a oil change kit from Revzilla as well as a funnel kit from Amazon. I'll link both of those in the description below so you can check it out. Make this quick and easy and painless and get right to it. Alright, so coming in from the outside, right here we have the primary oil. Right here we have the engine oil, and then coming around here we have the transmission right here. So there's no particular order to do all three in, so we're just going to go from left to right. We're just going to start with primary because that's where we are, and we're going to work our way around. You can get a low profile oil drain pan, but I was too lazy and didn't get one, so I just cut open an old oil canister, so we'll just dump it in there. All three of these are going to be 5/8, which makes it nice and easy, so you don't have to go swapping your sockets out. I'm gonna break this loose real quick, and once we get it to hand loosen, we're just gonna get the pan underneath it. Gonna want to inspect this here. Looks like it's got a lot of buildup on it, so I'm gonna get that cleaned up, and you're gonna want to replace this O-ring, okay? All right, now we're coming over from the exhaust side to do the transmission. Awkward angle here, try to get you to see it there, right there. So we're gonna break that free and then loosen by hand. I'm doing the primary and then the transmission because both those will fit in here. Then I'll empty it out, then I'll do the oil in a separate one. Again, you're going to want to clean this all off, replace the O-ring. We're going to insert it back in, go over torque specs in a second. I usually do this beforehand, but it drained fine without it. You usually want to break these free first. This is a 3/8 hex, so I'm just going to break that loose so that it's ready to be filled in a second, as well as take off the oil filler cap for when we get to the oil in a minute. I haven't gotten my garage lighting done yet. That's going to be a makeover later. Hopefully you guys can still see well. Unfortunately, my landscaper showed up in the middle of this, and I don't want it drowning out all the noise here. So, transmission is done draining. We're going to get this cleaned up. Make sure there's no crazy metal shavings on the magnetic plug. Replace the O-ring, plug it back in. Make sure you clean up all the excess oil on the outside that spills. And we'll torque spec all these down in a second. If you use this method, make sure you do primary and trans first, then dump this, then do the oil, because it's not all going to fit in here, and that would be an absolute mess. Now it's time to break the oil drain plug. Once again, inspect for metal shavings, clean everything off, and replace this O-ring. Then we will seat it back. While I have the engine oil draining, I'm going to go ahead and take off the primary cover. This is going to be a T27 Torx bit. So you're just going to take all these off, and then we're going to get to filling this bad boy. Put these suckers on, put them way too tight. So I'm going to get a socket so I have a little more torque. But be very careful not to strip these out. Right now is also a good time to replace your primary cover. I'm doing it on the next oil change because I want the least amount of chrome as possible. This little funnel kit I got, as long as it works, should save us a lot of heartache. This is for catching the oil around the oil filter. It's got a fill funnel, and then this is for filling up your primary. Also comes with an oil filter wrench and some O-rings and a microfiber to get everything cleaned up. Once again, I'll put it in the description below so you can check it out. It was not expensive, and it should save a lot of heartache, especially because I plan on doing all of my services myself. All right, so you just fit this guy underneath as far as possible, and then attach the hose, have it go down there. We're gonna see if this makes this less of a mess, because you can use tin foil or a box or anything like that, but it came with the kit and should make things a little easier. We'll see how it goes, and let's do it. Well, somebody put this on way too fucking tight. That's why I hate working on a project after somebody else did. Self-tapping some screws through. Let's see if it works. It's spinning. Let's go. I will link the gentleman who recommended this in the description. I will not take his credit for his ingenious idea or hack that he learned from somebody else, because good lord, that just saved me so much heartache. And it would be a lot easier to spin this off if this wasn't connected to it. But yeah, whatever. Oh god, we got it. And let's see how this did. Caught some of the drippings. Got a little spillage there, but nothing crazy. So yeah, it still saved us a little cleanup. Got most of the stuff, but we're still gonna clean up all the old oil in here. Make sure it's nice and pretty for the new oil filter. This one should be a little easier to get off because it has the end piece. So we're gonna get this prepped, remove this guy, and get a little bit of new oil, seal this on up, and spin her on. What I do on every oil filter is hand tighten plus 1/8 of a turn, if that. So hand tight just a smidge more, and you won't have the problems that we had taking this off. The torque spec on all these plugs is going to be 14 to 21 pound-feet of torque. I'm just gonna go with 15 to start, see if that feels snug. Ultimately, you want the O-rings to feel snug in there. You do not want to crush them, because crushing them can lead to leaks, as well as you can easily strip threads on any bolts like this. Let's start with the transmission, which you probably can't see because it's very low to the ground. There we go. That felt nice and snug. The other side of the bike for the oil. There we go. Onto the primary. There we go. Nice and snug. I know a lot of people don't do torque spec on stuff like this, but I learned torque spec just tends to work on everything. Torque wrenches aren't that expensive. I use a really cheap one I've had for like 5 years. Never let me down. Got it on Amazon for cheap. There's nothing wrong with, you know, a couple extra seconds to get torque spec down and you're good. Start by filling the primary. This is to help fill the primary. Just seats in there. Easy peasy. Harley Oil is, there's no dipstick or anything for it. You just have to fill it up until it's right below the notch here, which they say is about 1 quart. I think a little more. So most of these kits give you 2 quarts. So we'll just start with a quart and then check it out and then see how much more we need. Kind of hard to see on cam, but it looks like we need a little more. Recommends 1.1 quarts, but it's more important to make sure it hits the bottom of that clutch basket so that it gets properly oiled. All right, the bottom of the clutch basket is touching there. Should be good to go. Now's a good time to replace the seal on your primary cover as well. It's already open. Why not? It's cheap. Just get it done. I always start with the top because it holds everybody else in place. If you start with any others, it wants to move around, it just lines them all up easy. I do everything in a star pattern when it comes to anything circular. Just helps the seal and the screws or bolts, whatever you're doing, not over tighten or under tighten on one end. I'm not going to over torque these. I'm just going to give them one good ooga dooga, because I don't really have, my torque wrench can't really adapt to this Torx bit, and this is just a temporary fluid change. I'm going to be doing it again pretty soon to replace my primary cover and just flush it out so that we make sure everything's good, as this is the first oil change on this bike. Transmission oil fill plug is kind of hard to get to on this bike, so we're just going to be really careful and go real slow so that it doesn't spill everywhere. This takes 1 quart as well, but make sure you check the oil level when it's done. Looks good. All right, get this nice and snug. Nice and snug. It calls for 5 quarts of oil for the main oil, but we're gonna start with 4 quarts. And we're going to check it, and then we're just going to keep slowly topping it off until it hits that full mark, just to make sure we don't overfill it. So I let the bike run for a while to heat up. You will see some smoke coming from my pipes. This bike sat for about 2 years, so there's a lot of oil and condensation and stuff built up. I'm gonna run it a few times, get it through some cycles and all that good stuff, and then if it's still smoking, I'll look further into it, seeing if anything's wrong. At the moment, it should be all normal and good to go. We'll find out. But we're gonna check the oil now that it's nice and hot on the Jiffy stand, and it is legitimately like perfectly full. Awesome. So, good to go. I'm gonna make this a video as quick as possible. If you like the content, like and subscribe. Let me know what else you want me to work on. As I start getting parts and things like that for my bike, I will upload them and let you know how I did it, because I do everything myself. So thank you so much for watching, and good luck maintaining your own bike.